Hello and welcome to the big picture. One of the key states in these elections, the outcome of which will be watched keenly for various reasons, is West Bengal. With 17 more of the 42 seats to go to poll on May 12th, the huge turnout of voters in the seats for which polling has been held so far has also aroused the curiosity about what would be the outcome. However, the mega battle which is being staged by the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, who has taken on all the three forces, left front, Congress and what looks like an emerging BJP, has made the battle for Bengal very interesting. We will discuss today the various factors which are playing out in the elections and also whether Mamata Banerjee will be able to retain her prime position and whether there is any revival of left front's fortunes and the effect of BJP's emergence on the poll scene. To discuss this, I have with me Sanjay Kumar, co-director Lokniti at the CSDS, Ajoy Bose, senior journalist, Jayanta Ghoshal, editor Anandabazar Patrika, and from Kolkata is Rajat Roy, senior journalist. Welcome to all of you. Sanjay, this high percentage of polling which has been happening in West Bengal in all the phases which have been held so far, is it something that we need to take note of at this point of time, or you think that in West Bengal normally there has been this high polling there?
Yeah, there is no need to speculate because if we look at the voting patterns or look at the turnout in the past elections, whether we look at assembly elections or we look at the Lok Sabha elections, West Bengal is a state which has always witnessed very high turnout. And this election, the phases which has been held so far, has also witnessed high turnout, more than 80%. So I'm not surprised, and there is no big concern about that why there is a high turnout. It is a state which has traditionally witnessed very high turnout in assembly elections and in Lok Sabha elections.
Okay. Jayanta, you think that every election which is held in West Bengal, each party keeps blaming the other for the kind of rigging or scientific rigging or whatever. Is that one of the reasons for this high percentage of polling, or are actually people go out and vote in such large numbers?
Firstly, the large number of voting is a usual thing in West Bengal. I agree with this proposition. But what you are saying, that rigging, whether I call it rigging or election management or the proxy voting machineries, a lot of coinages are there. But it is true that there is a huge party mobilization on voters in Bengal. There are a lot of machineries. It works in rural Bengal also to bring voters from the houses.
Which is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but sometimes there is a particracy also. That is not very good. I mean, apparently it is very good. But if there is a ruling party's force behind the scene, then it is not democracy. It's a more particracy.
Ajay,
that is not very good thing.
Ajay, how do you look at this? This mass mobilization of voters? In the normal sense, if it is being mobilized, then I don't think anybody should have a problem. But what Jayanta is saying is something which is a matter of concern.
I just want to complete one sentence that when CPM was the ruling party, there is a fear psychosis among the voters on the CPM.
Yes.
They will stop they are the beneficiaries of different schemes, that. Now the ruling party is Trinamool. So the CPM hooligans earlier, now they have joined TMC, and now the fear psychosis is coming from the ruling regime from Trinamool side.
Ajay?
No, there's both good and bad in this. One thing is, of course, it's an extremely politically aware state, and therefore the political consciousness is very high, particularly among the poor, and elections is a big thing. But I completely agree that for many, many years, almost decades, partly this voter mobilization also includes, illegal methods and strong arm methods, which we are seeing, even today. Even today, I mean, it is ironic.
The left front is now complaining about all this.
No, it is ironic how the vote is on the other foot, because what the left front is complaining is what Mamata used to complain earlier. So we are seeing the opposite thing, but it's not that everything is being rigged. I have a feeling that you will still get the correct result. You will still get I mean, it's not that, a loser can become a winner or a winner can become a loser.
Exactly.
But certainly in key constituencies, in one constituency, results can be changed. And there is no question that a lot of illegal methods are used.
Rajat, would you agree with this? Do you also see it in the same manner as Jayanta and Ajoy looks at this whole thing?
Yeah, I do agree with what Jayanta and Ajoy was saying. But at the same time, I would like to add another factor I should ask you to consider. That is of the collaboration of the state machinery.
Right.
While talking about election machinery, we just tend to ignore that the election commission is dependent solely on the available state infrastructure.
Right.
And there is a visible collusion between the ruling party and the bureaucrats.
Whoever is the ruling
placement
party.
of central forces.
Whichever is the ruling party.
Keeping them in the barracks and whoever in the ruling party. When CPM was in the ruling party, they used to do that same thing. And now the Trinamool Congress is doing that and following the same thing actually. So this is also another factor, another parameter that adds to this thing, that the suspicion that not everything is fair in this election.
Okay. Sanjay, coming to the issues which have come up in this election, you think that, has BJP emerged as some kind of a contender there, a serious contender, a serious rival to TMC and the Congress and the left front there?
If we look at the 2009 Lok Sabha election and if we compare from that, I think BJP is certainly improving its vote share, and BJP might end up with say about 12-14% vote. But I won't consider BJP as a serious contender in West Bengal because these 12% votes will hardly convert into seats. So BJP is not in a position to win seats in West Bengal, but yes, they have made their presence felt in West Bengal, and a lot of credit for this goes to Narendra Modi, who has campaigned very, very effectively in West Bengal, held a couple of rallies. So they have been able to make their presence felt, but not sizable enough to bring surprises in West Bengal.
Okay. Jayanta, would you agree with that? And
absolutely.
Also, I want you to
Absolutely.
I want you to dwell on this also. Why has the Modi-Mamta battle become so bitter? Why is it that it has become so bitter?
There is a politics in it. I'm telling you, it's absolutely, I agree with this. Because, if you see one seat, Asansol, BJP got some 10,000, 20,000 vote. To get the seat, they need 3 lakhs vote. It's a notional figure I have given. So actually they can increase the vote bank, and inside BJP there is a strong differences of opinion so far strategy on Mamta and West Bengal. Because Narendra Modi is taking a risk, like Mayawati, Jayalalitha. On Mamta also, he has taken a risk that we have to grow independently. The Rajnath Singh, Advani, they think that it can be a long-term strategy, but short-term, we will increase the vote, and then CPM can be the beneficiary. Because, the number of seats, because the division of vote, so if one seat of CPM will go for UPA bouquet, so how BJP will be benefited increasing the vote share? There is a logic. But Narendra Modi is overconfident, and he thinks that the anti-Mamta space, what CPM used to get, now BJP can take, because Mamta is also 3 years anti-incumbency factor is there.
Right.
So there is a process of disillusionment has started among the middle class and even in the rural Bengal. Chit fund, corruption.
Right.
So the aggressive campaign,
is
even on the
that
Muslim appeasement also.
Right.
So the Mamta reacted, what your question is that why tutu mame?
Right.
Because Mamta is thinking that telling him butcher and this Haridas Pal or whatever the language is, basically it's a different polarization. In UP we are watching another type of polarization. It's a religiosity is there, but in political polarization, it's here, there is also another point of religiosity, because Mamta is trying to consolidate the 30% Muslim vote
votes.
also, saying butcher to Modi.
Yes.
So it's a pre-election rhetorics, and I don't give much importance to this tutu mama actually. There is a sign of political polarization also here.
Ajoy? Well, how is it going to impact this whole thing? Now, if Mamta is taking on Modi and Mamta getting into such bitter battles, are they closing the future options, post-poll options by doing that?
It's not just a question of rhetorical, exchanges. I think there are much more long-term differences between the two. You must understand that in Bengal, two forces which used to be relevant before, the Congress, which is completely faded now in Bengal, and the left front, whose social base is crumbling now. Basically, Mamta has attacked the left from the left. She has a rural poor with her, and which includes a large number of Muslims as well.
Right.
Now, every force needs a counter force. Modi and the BJP cleverly sense their opportunity. I do not actually see any chance of Mamta and Modi coming together because they represent different social constituencies, and if the BJP is at all to take advantage of that political vacuum in the opposition space in Bengal, they will not. So I think there's a much longer term battle which is going on,
and you will see,
and you will see this sharpening. I think the momentum still remains with Mamta because vast masses of poor people still are with her, despite the disenchantment of the middle class. And that middle class vote is quite likely now to be turning towards the BJP, but that may not at the moment, till the left completely disappears and the Congress, of course, is almost dead now. Then you may see the BJP really showing results in terms of seats.
Rajat, is this emergence of the BJP a short-term phenomena, riding the Modi wave, or is it something which is taking deep roots?
No, actually, I don't think it's a short-term phenomena. It has a long-term perspective as well. And while agreeing partly with the other speakers, that BJP's rise is just because there is a political vacuum in the opposition side. That is true. But BJP also eyeing to the 2016 assembly election. And I do feel after touring those districts where BJP's wind is really being felt, like Birbhum, then Asansol, Bankura, and also in part of Nadia and Hooghly, I have seen that it is not a middle class people alone, they are going for BJP.
Okay.
Even the rural youth, mostly the youth between 18 and 25 age, they are the catchment area for the BJP, new voters.
Okay.
And also, they form, cutting across urban and rural divide, they are coming into this thing, BJP fold, from both the left side and from the TMC side. So it is a new development which is threatening to change the established political scenario in Bengal, where the traditionally left and anti-left, they were divided in a bipolar scenario.
Right.
It won't be any more bipolar, it will be a multipolar scenario from then on.
Okay.
And just a minute, I don't see that, my hunch is that the BJP percentage of vote will go up beyond 15 and it will be hovering around somewhere 15 to 20. And that means at least 5-6 seats they will come into second place.
Okay.
And if you can translate it into the assembly seats, they are likely to occupy 40 seats in the coming
We
election.
will see that. That's still 2 years away. But Sanjay, what does it mean for the left front? This kind of an emergence. I mean, you are saying about 12-13%. Rajat thinks it's going to be over 15%. But everybody agrees that there is an emergence of this party, of the BJP. Is it at the cost of the left front? Is it at the cost of the Congress? What is happening there?
See, left front in 2009, they performed badly, but still they had about 43-44% votes.
Right.
And Mamata Banerjee and Congress were able to pull big victories because they were contesting elections as allies, and they had different support base. But we know that left support base has gone down if we go by the findings of our pre-poll surveys, and various other indication suggest that the support base of left has gone down. But beyond a point, I think it would be difficult for any party to erode the support base of left, because they would go down to say about 24, 25%, 26% vote. Beyond that, they will not go down beyond that. So if BJP is rising, definitely it is rising at the cost of all other parties, but I think largely at the cost of Congress also.
Largely at the cost
because as you can see that for the last 15 minutes, we did not even talk about Congress. So that's the situation of Congress in West Bengal. We talked about left, and we talked about Trinamool Congress, and we talked about BJP. Where is Congress in West Bengal?
Right.
So BJP is rising mostly at the cost of Congress, less at the cost of left front.
Jayanta, would you agree with that?
But whose vote BJP will take more? That is my question. I can ask him also, because usually earlier when left was in power, the division of vote, it was complementary for
it was an
CPM.
It was an anti-left.
Anti-left, and that's why Mamata made Grand Alliance.
Right.
So that was the controversy, whether she should go for Grand Alliance with BJP or not. But now my question is,
Sanjay, yes, you want to intervene?
No, I have just one-liner question
I was
to
saying
Sanjay.
that left still has traditionally.
Continue.
No, left still is very strong in the rural areas. So in the urban areas, Congress used to have a support base more in the urban areas. So BJP is rising in the urban constituency. Most of their votes are concentrated in urban Bengal. So that is why it is most likely that BJP would damage more the Congress. Less the left. And also, if the BJP rises beyond a point, they are going to damage the Trinamool Congress also. Because Trinamool is also relatively more strong in urban areas, less in the rural areas.
Right. Yeah.
So now what I was saying, that the CPM used to be the beneficiary of the division of vote, and that's why Mamata went for the Grand Alliance. But now Mamata is a ruling party. So the division of vote, why it will be not complementary for Mamata? Why? That means CPM has they have a strong vote bank, and it's a polarization between left and non-left.
Right.
So it's not a ruling versus opposition polarization. It's a polarization of left and non-left. So this is a very peculiar political phenomenon of Bengal.
Ajoy? I mean, he has raised a very interesting, is it still left versus non-left? Which means when you say non-left, that means BJP,
in fact,
Congress,
I don't know the answer actually. It's my...
Well, I want to introduce a little caveat here.
Yeah.
And this is to do with the rise of the BJP. A lot of this rise is predicated around the emergence of Narendra Modi.
Yes. That's why I asked the question to Rajat earlier.
Because Narendra Modi is a phenomenon and is at the moment a bubble. A bubble which could be punctured in the coming years, either through not all that great a victory or raising expectations a lot when he becomes PM, and you know how quickly these things turn sour.
Right.
Now, it would largely depend on the BJP being able to provide an effective party leadership locally and throwing up an effective local Bengali leader. You see, you must remember, a Gujarati can never ever replace a local Bengali leader. So they have to have a leader in Bengal who's capable of projecting himself or herself.
That seems to be the problem with the Congress also. That seems to be the problem with the Congress.
So I personally feel that before we project all these things for too far, we have to see how things develop. But I think it's still a very politically fluid situation.
I think you have made very interesting point. But let us move a little. And Rajat Roy, I want you to look at the issue. I want you to tell us this whole Bangladeshi issue, which has become a major issue in this campaign. How is that going to be playing out? Why is Mamata taking such an aggressive stand on that? And the counter-aggressive stand taken by Modi, how is it going to affect the various parties? And where does the left front stand on this issue?
Both the parties are trying to consolidate their vote bank. On this particular issue, they're trying to divide the vote banks. Actually, Mamata is hoping that the minorities lock, stock and barrel will come to her fold. And BJP is also playing a tactical game. If you recall that in the bordering districts of 10 bordering districts with Bangladesh, there is a groundswell for the BJP. Even in 1999, we saw that the voting percentage went up when BJP fought this election.
Right.
So the partition victims, mostly from the majority community, partition victims, they have a feeling that these sort of things, they just quote unquote, appeasement actually is not helping their cause. So BJP is playing on that thing, and on the other hand, the TMC leader, she is trying to play on the fear psychosis, which is ingrained in the mind of those minorities. Often they have been harassed on the question of their identity.
Right.
Maybe they are all from the Indian side, yet their identities are being questioned in Mumbai and elsewhere. So there is a tactical ploy from both the sides to get maximum mileage on this issue.
Okay. Sanjay, you think that this is one of the major factors which is going to play a role in getting the BJP a higher percentage of votes? Because, this is an issue which has been repeatedly raised by Narendra Modi and other people of the BJP.
No, they would certainly try and use this as a tactic to, mobilize the urban voters. But I don't think that is going to work very well in West Bengal. More like it could work more in a state like Assam, but not much in a state like West Bengal. But they would try and, like the BJP would try and attack what they have been doing. Try and attack the ruling government. Mamata Banerjee-led government tried to attack, to say that nothing much has been done in the state during last several years, and also the attacking the UPA Congress-led UPA government about the non-performance or the less performance of these two governments. So that would be the strategy of the BJP, from which they can benefit more compared to the other strategy of, raking up the Bangladeshi Muslims issue.
Okay. Jayanta, this is on this issue, where does the left front stand and how is it approaching this issue? How is it different from the way the BJP and the TMC is approaching this?
For CPM, it is more complicated.
Right.
Because I was talking to one senior CPM leader just 2 days back. He was telling me that in the first leg, when Modi was campaigning on infiltration and attacking Mamta, we were happy. And we were thinking that the left vote will increase and we will be the beneficiary. But after some time, we are watching that the Muslim vote, Mamta is trying to consolidate through the anti-Modi campaign.
Right.
And Modi is trying to get the majority's vote. So the catch-22 situation, what Congress is facing in Varanasi, Mulayam versus BJP, CPM is also facing some sort of problem there, because CPM has to reinvent the
itself.
old Muslim loyalty.
Right.
And there is a difference. What Sanjay is saying, partially I agree with him, that there is a difference between Urdu-speaking Muslim and the Bengali-speaking Muslim culturally.
Absolutely.
So the Bengali-speaking Muslim of Bengal, they are more Bengalis than Muslims. So the religiosity and the ethnic identity, the
linguistic identity
so
is
if you
more
want
than
to divide that identity for vote bank, it is easier in UP and Bihar. It is very difficult in Bengal. So, but CPM is quite afraid that in long term, BJP should not get the space of the anti-TMC space, what actually today CPM
is holding. Ajoy?
Actually, traditionally, the Bengali-speaking Muslim used to tend to veer towards the Congress when the TMC wasn't there. And the Urdu-speaking Muslim was actually, the left vote bank.
The left bank.
What has happened today is very interesting. The Congress, vote bank of the Muslims have shifted to the TMC, of course. But given this new rise of the BJP and fear in Bihar and UP about Modi, about this thing, and the polarization there, seems to have affected the minority community, Urdu-speaking minority community in Bengal as well. So today Mamta has an advantage, there is no question as far as the minority vote is concerned, and I would expect a very large proportion.
When you're talking of minority votes now, does it include both the Urdu-speaking and the Bengali-speaking?
Exactly. So that is likely to happen in these elections. And also, there is a strong residue of anti-Muslim feeling from partition days. I've grown up in Calcutta. I know, in the Bengali middle class, there is a certain
Absolutely.
fear about the rough Muslim. There is it's also almost like a class thing.
Right.
Because a lot of the Muslims
And
come
that
from
is, and that is what Modi is,
Yeah, Modi is trying
working
to
on.
encash. But whether that becomes an electoral thing, because it's not there in rural areas, except for some border areas. Of course, in border areas, there is a feeling. So, I think it's a little more complex, because I don't think you can polarize these things that easily. In
Okay.
Assam, on the other hand, is completely different. I totally agree.
So, Sanjay, where does the left front stand now?
Yeah.
Left front, the issue of left front,
No, Girish, I wanted to say something about the Muslim vote.
Yeah, please.
If we look at the 2009 Lok Sabha elections, Muslim votes were almost divided equally between left front and the Trinamool Congress alliance. Congress alliance and Trinamool Congress alliance had a little edge over left front with regard to the Muslim vote.
Right.
But the indication which we are getting up till now is that Muslim vote is actually getting badly divided between Congress and the Trinamool Congress, because this time they are fighting separately.
What about
Trinamool
left
Congress
front?
has the edge over the. Yeah, left front is also getting like one third. This is the division of the Muslim vote in Bihar. In West Bengal, this is the division of the Muslim vote, and Congress, Trinamool, and left front are getting almost equal Muslim vote, but Trinamool Congress has a little edge. And the difficulty is that Muslims are unable to figure out that whether in some constituencies Trinamool Congress is not in a position to put up a contest against left. So in those constituencies they would go along with the Congress. So the consolidation is not happening about the Muslim vote in West Bengal. It is a badly split Muslim vote between the three parties: Congress, Trinamool Congress, and the left.
Okay, Rajat, this is very interesting. The BJP is appearing in certain parts, which, as you were saying about in the border districts with Bangladesh, but this division of the Muslim votes as Sanjay is saying, between all the three parties, how is it going to play out? Who is going to benefit, or who is going to get hurt by this?
Girish, I don't see it happening that way, that it will be split equally or unevenly among these three parties. Rather, I think the Muslims will go for tactical voting, looking at the winnability of a candidate against BJP in a particular seat. And that way they will try to consolidate their vote.
No, 1 second.
In favor of one candidate.
Rajat,
maybe
1 second.
TMC, maybe the Congress.
BJP is not a fear there. Yeah.
Exactly. That is exactly my point. BJP
Congress
is not a
losing
fear.
party.
BJP is not. Jayanta, BJP is not.
That's the main
fear.
question. What Sanjay and Rajat is saying.
No, out of 42 seats in West Bengal, in how many seats are BJP in a serious contest?
BJP, they are thinking that, the BJP and Narendra Modi, there is a difference.
Exactly.
Narendra Modi thinks that this response can lead to a miracle. Because, he is saying, to his colleagues.
Let us not go by their assessment.
But my assessment,
Yes.
if you ask my assessment, maximum they can go for 3 seats. If
One
it is
second,
at
let
all
it-
possible.
1 second. Sanjay, in how many seats you think BJP will be a factor?
No, I don't see them being an important player in, say, besides 1 or 2 seats. Winnability, where people would think that BJP is actually in a position to win. So in that case, I don't think Muslims are going to polarize
Exactly.
against BJP.
So there is no, Ajoy, there is no polarizing.
No, that's what I personally feel, that as far as Muslims are concerned, I think their choice is made. But I have a feeling that the Congress, being seen largely as a losing party in Bengal, is unlikely to get much Muslim vote. Honestly, the Congress, both at the center and in the state, is seen as the biggest loser in these elections.
Very quickly.
My question is, what Sanjay is saying, one third, and what Rajat is saying, the tactical voting.
Almost.
So the en bloc.
Yeah, I'm saying this.
No,
Okay,
but
okay.
en bloc. My question is, the en bloc Muslim tactical voting in West Bengal, is it a myth or reality? That I don't know.
I don't think anybody can answer that question now, but we're completely run out of time. But it's a good note to end, because this 30% vote of the Muslims in Bengal, whether how it will be split, that will also it will decide the elections to a great extent in so many constituencies in West Bengal. So the myth or reality, we don't know. We'll wait and watch. But this has been a very interesting discussion. And one thing is that the BJP is emerging, but not to an extent where they can get so many seats. Left front is having problems, but not to the extent that they'll get decimated. But one thing which everybody seems to agree here is that Congress is in a very bad shape in West Bengal. But anyway, we'll wait and watch what the results will be finally. Thanks to all my guests, Sanjay, Kumar, Rajat, Roy, Jayanta, Ghoshal and Ajoy, Bose. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue in the big picture same time tomorrow.